So, welcome everyone to our Mind, Body, and Soul 30-day reset course. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the mind. And my name is Rabbi Nazima, for those of you who may be listening later and don't know me. So, I've had over 30 years of studying meditation, spiritual concepts, and practices. And of course, I love to work with complementary therapies and also plant medicine in the form of essential oils in the aromatherapy um, field. So that's going to be something that we will be sharing as we go through this little course tonight. So I'm going to also use a PowerPoint for those of you who like to have a little bit of a visual. But to start with, if I said to you that your reality is not shaped by your circumstances, by where you live, what you have, what you do, not shaped by your body, but is shaped by your mind. So all your experiences, all your emotions, whether it's love and fear and hate and pain, all of these emotions begin with a thought. So I'll just put the PowerPoint on. So how do we know this is possible? The mind is the master and the body simply follows. So my spiritual teacher used to say to us, conquer the mind and you have enlightenment. It took me many years to really understand that. I mean, I'm still learning, but let's look at quantum physics. Quantum physics have many demonstrating lots of research and experiments around the reality, the concept of reality and how we create reality. So one of those most famous experiments is called the double slit experiment. So this demonstrates with unparalleled strangeness that little particles of matter have something of a wave about them and suggests the very act of observing a particle has a dramatic effect on its behavior. So what that means is thoughts shape your reality by directing your energy and frequency, attracting experiences that match. Simply, what we focus on becomes our reality. So let's have a think about that for a minute, because how often have you had an experience where you think about something and maybe it's a desire, maybe it's a thought about a friend, maybe it's something you've been through in the past and you're wanting to have that experience again. And within a short time, or sometimes it's immediate, you are experiencing exactly what you were thinking. I mean, the most common thing is when you think of a friend and the next day you run into them, or you're thinking of a family member and the phone rings and it's your family member. Who's had that experience, right? It is quite common. So let's also consider, just going to go to the next slide. So let's also consider the possibility that your brain does not generate thought, but rather processes thought from a collective field or a universal consciousness. So quantum theories suggest that information is never truly lost, right? And that we have information that's only transformed. If memories exist as quantum imprints in the field of consciousness, then intuition, dreams, and meditation may serve as access points. And what about our memories? Rather than being locked in our neurons, memories could exist in an energetic field around us. And I'm sure many of you have heard of a collective field called the Akashic Records or the morphic field. The brain, in this case, would act more like a tuner, accessing the vibrational signature of past experiences rather than storing them physically. Since thoughts arise from the field of consciousness, not all of them originate from us. Some come from the collective field, from others around us, or even from old energetic imprints. So, stopping the absorption of negative thoughts that don't belong to us require a mixture of awareness, energetic boundaries, and vibrational alignment. So let's have a look at that. So, who's had an experience where perhaps you've gotten up in the morning and you've been feeling great and everything seems like it's going to be a great day, and within a short period of time, you're suddenly feeling heavy, you're suddenly feeling a little bit anxious for no particular reason? Is it possible that you are tapping in to someone else's thoughts? Who's had that experience? That
I don't know if it is someone else thought, but it is probably affected by someone else that affect my emotion on that moment, and then it drops down.
right.
So being exposed to someone else emotions,
We're
that's
talking about that you are in the collective field, in that consciousness, in that morphic field around you, and thoughts are coming in, that the brain is processing those thoughts, and we'll get into how that works as we go along. So oftentimes, you feel a shift in your own energy, and there's no reason why you feel that, why you feel a bit anxious, while you feel even a little bit heavy or depressed. So you're picking up on within that morphic field, within that universal consciousness field.
yeah, I agree.
So let's look at, as we go along, sorry, I think. So let's talk about frequency. So the universe is frequency and light. I'm sure all of you understand that concept, that the planet itself has a resonance, a frequency of a base of 7.83 hertz. So everything around us has a frequency. Our thoughts, our emotions, our body, and even sound and light. Earth's frequency is known as the Schumann's resonance. So high frequency states like love, gratitude, joy uplift the body, while low frequency states like fear, anger, guilt drain our energy.
Hmm.
So the human body, if we look at our human body, on average, when we are feeling like in a healthy, balanced way, we have a frequency around 62 to 72 megahertz. But when our frequency drops below 58, then the body becomes more susceptible to illness. So how does that work? So key aspects of human frequency. So there's many different things that come into play here. There's the cellular resonance. So we know that every cell in the body has an electrical charge and vibrates at a specific frequency, contributing to overall health and vitality. So that's one way of the describing human frequency. Another is the energetic field, which is called the biofield, that surrounds the body as an electromagnetic field that reflects emotional and mental, our overall health and physical well-being. And then we have our brainwave frequencies. The brain operates at different frequency states like beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma, influencing our mood, cognition, and consciousness. So let's just have a little look at that for a minute and just close your eyes for a few moments and just visualize your own. So see your own body. Just feel your own body. And then as you tap into your body, a vision of your body, ask your body to show you what is your resonance. What am I vibrating at? What is the energy? And just allow it to come. Whatever you get is absolutely fine. And then imagine that your body is surrounded with an energy field around it. And it's quite broad, this energy field. And that surrounds like an egg around your physical body. And perhaps just tap into a little affirmation. I release all energies and thoughts that aren't mine. And as you breathe deeply, imagine on the exhale that all of those energies and thoughts that don't belong to you are letting go like a white mist. They're just going out and up and up and up or into the earth. And then as you do that, imagine that your energy field is a golden light, like a light shield all around your physical body, allowing only love and truth to enter your frequency to create a field of clarity for you. Just take a few moments to just feel that golden light as it surrounds your physical body. So you can do that anytime. You can, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've taken on someone else's energy, someone else's thoughts, you can just see yourself letting those go and say that little affirmation. So if we move on, we're going to look
Beautiful.
at the next part. If all our thoughts connect to emotions, so how does that work? If all thoughts and memories arise from a collective field of consciousness, then emotions are how we experience those thoughts in our physical body. So we tune into frequencies in the collective field, much like a radio picking up the thoughts we receive, right? They are influenced by our own personal vibrational state. So wherever we are at the time, if we're up and happy and feeling good, then that is our level of vibration at the time. And we receive those, we tap into that level of frequency. When a thought enters our awareness, we interpret it based on our own personal beliefs and subconscious programming. This interpretation creates the emotional response. And that's where the word emotion comes from, meaning energy in motion. So does everyone have a little understanding of how that works? So as we receive a thought, so the mental body is first, then we receive it, and then it moves into the emotional body, which we'll do at another time. But this just gives you an understanding. And that is how we interpret based on what our personal beliefs are, our subconscious programming from when we are little, what we believe about ourselves in the world is how we interpret that particular thought. And then we have the emotion based on that thought. So what if you were raising your frequency was as simple as shifting one thought at a time. So if your mind is just like a radio, what station are you tuned into? So let's have a little look at that at the moment. So let's take an essential oil, if you have one, and put it in your hand and breathe it in. Then, using the power of your mind, I want you to recall, you can close your eyes as you breathe in the oil, close your eyes, and recall a memory of perhaps a stressful moment when you could have been yesterday, it could have been today, it could have been weeks, it could be a long time ago, but whatever that memory, recall that stressful moment, something that wasn't particularly pleasant, and then feel that in your body. So we're just doing this little exercise to feel what that unpleasant thought feels like in the body on an emotional level. And then let that go and then think of something really wonderful, joyful, fun. And bring that memory to mind, a memory when you had joy and happiness and it was exciting and fun. And this just gives you an understanding of how quickly we can shift the
Mm.
feelings, the emotions in our body by bringing to mind the thought of a memory. So everything begins in the mind. The mental body is the power. How precious our thoughts are. It's such a shame that we're not taught this when we're born or when we're a child, to be aware of our thoughts, what we're thinking, because those thoughts are shifting the emotional balance within our physical bodies. So then, how do we practice moving into a higher frequency? So the key is awareness. When we consciously choose higher vibrations, our thoughts, we shift our emotional state, and that changes our entire experience. So we know positive thoughts uplift and negative ones lower our energy field down. So let's just look at what we can do. How can we shift our day-to-day experiences and the way we are thinking? Many times we are on a robotic mode. We really don't pay attention enough to what we are thinking and how we respond to those thoughts. So one of the most powerful things we can do is begin to practice being the observer of thoughts rather than just identifying with them. So when a past memory arises, ask yourself, is this thought serving my highest joy? If not, then gently redirect that thought. So you might be going about your day and all of a sudden you have a thought about something that is a little bit heavy, a little bit negative, and this is how you, as the observer, all of a sudden you're recognizing, wow, where did that thought come from? And then you ask yourself, does this thought serve my highest joy? And then breathe it out. So, by focusing on the now moment, your attention to the present moment as much as you can is when we manifest. When we live in the past or we live in the future, we limit our ability to create what we want, to manifest what we want. So having awareness of our thoughts, and that takes practice. It takes time and a willingness to really start to look at what am I thinking? One of the things I often do is when I start to become aware, oh my gosh, my mind's gone into a whole different thread of something completely, not even really relevant. I tell my mind, just stop, let that go, and just start to focus on my breath and shift my focus. One of the things that oftentimes when we start to begin to judge another person or something, or we have a judgment about something, oftentimes that can create a recognition that that judgment can live within ourselves. So we often have those sort of quiet thoughts where we're looking at something and judging something. Now, there is a difference between classifying something or judging something. So in classification, you know, you could easily say, wow, that's a really hard thing to do, and you're just classifying it. Would be, why is this so hard for me to do? When you ask that, that's sort of judging. So there is a little bit, that's just a very simple explanation. So the next thing is recognize and identify. So when a negative thought arises, ask this, is this mine? Are these thoughts mine? Do these belong to me? It feels like really strange that I'm having these thoughts, and then consciously just reject it and let it pass. Like a cloud, like that white mist moving out from you. So this is one way that you can practice letting go of things that don't serve you, those thoughts that don't serve you. So another way that is great to shift, say you're feeling heavy, you're feeling down, you're starting to move into maybe memories that aren't pleasant. One of the things that you can do is begin to move your body. Either chanting is great in many cultures and many traditions. Chanting is a great practice. Dancing is a great practice. In the Hindu tradition, the kirtan practice of chanting and dancing is a wonderful way to just shift the energies. The Buddhists, they chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo as a manifesting chant, but many other different chants. You can look at the Sufis, the swirling dervishes, how they swirl and move their bodies into that trance-like state. So they move away from the thinking mind, more connecting to the divine mind. It's one way that they connect to God, right? So moving the body, even just in exercise, can shift and change that thinking process. Another thing to do is disconnect from collective negativity. So this means that you may have a really good friend, but every time you speak with this good friend, they're giving you all the negative reasons why this happens and that happens. And maybe it's a family member, or maybe, and it's always about what's wrong, everything's wrong. That will bring down your own energy, your own frequency. So find a way either to help uplift that person or just like move away at that moment. If you're feeling that heaviness within your body, if you're having a conversation with someone. So it's always good to be mindful also of what you're watching on TV. If you're hearing too much negative news or listening to things that really are hard, and things like suffering and pain, balance is the key, right? So if our mind starts to come down with all those heavy thoughts, you get into the pain and suffering of others, that is detrimental to uplifting your own frequency. It's great to have compassion, but you don't need to take that energy on that it creates suffering within your own physical body. So think about just creating that balance. It's great to be aware of what's going on in the world and what's going on around your neighborhood and so on, but make sure that you balance it out with something fun and happy. Nature walks are wonderful, meditation is wonderful, and also shifting your frequency through gratitude. So many of us get trapped in the past, reliving memories that no longer serve us, but we are not our past. We are awareness itself, capable of choosing the present moment. So think about if you want to shift from mental bondage to mental freedom. So oftentimes our thoughts can create ourselves to feel bound up in a heavy energy. And this is about uplifting ourselves into a higher frequency. So remember, the mind is the key. The mind is the power. Our thoughts are our power. So the moment a negative past memory arises, immediately shift into gratitude. What is one thing I can appreciate about my life now? What's something that I can look at and feel appreciative about? So, Judy, you've been doing appreciation and gratitude to shift your thinking process. Would you like to give us a little example of something that's happened and that what you've used to shift those thoughts?
I just find that for me, if I start to get into judgment, I just go, what am I grateful for? It could be I'm grateful for the fact that I have a home or that I have food on the table, like just, and it just depends on the circumstances of what's happening, but it uplifts your frequency and you just notice a difference in your energy. And it brings that awareness to where your thoughts are. And I just find that for myself and my daughter's now doing it too, that it is making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I might have a sore foot or something, but I'm grateful that I can walk. Just something really simple, nothing. And then at nighttime, when I go to bed, I think of 10 things that I'm grateful for
Mm.
um, in that day.
Yes, yes.
So that you start to think more positive than negative, and it does make a difference to your energy.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Jude. And gratitude rewires the brain and shifts the vibrational
Mm.
frequency instantly. So even if you say, I love my life, I love my body, I love that I live, whatever it takes, have a little favorite sort of saying also, I think is really a really great way to uplift your own energy. I love life. I love life. I love that I have loving family, whatever. I love the blue sky. I've been doing that after we've had so much rain. I love the blue sky. The blue sky is so wonderful. It can be something very, very simple. So we know
Mm.
that exercise, shaking it out, moving the body is really good. And also grounding. Now, grounding has become very popular in the last year or two. And of course, I love to use our balance blend, the oil. It is the oil of grounding, but it absolutely realigns and helps our nervous system. It's excellent to place on the back of the neck, down the spine, bottom of the feet, and then go out on the grass and put your feet on the ground. And if you don't have that available to you, just put your feet on the floor, barefoot on the floor. And so the balance blend is it just magnifies the experience. So that's what essential oils do. They're activators. So let's look at how essential oils can raise our frequency. Has everyone got any questions about that? So they're all the wonderful things that can help us shift our frequency. And then we look at our essential oils. So they are incredible tools because they come from the plants. And I love to use doTERRAs because I know the purity of doTERRAs. So low quality synthetic oils have no frequency benefits at all. So you want to use the highest quality that you can get your hands on. Only pure essential oils hold life force energy. So I think we all know that as we are all here loving our essential oils and using them. And of course, we can look at some of the frequencies of essential oils. Now, keeping in mind they come from Mother Nature, directly from the plants and trees. And so we've got rose, which is 320 megahertz, which is a beautiful oil for emotional support and healing. So that's our rose. And then we have our frankincense, which is known to be around 147 megahertz. So that raises spiritual awareness. It's excellent for meditation, and it definitely is one that will uplift our frequency. And then we have our beautiful lavender around 118 megahertz. So that's a great one that calms the nervous system and restores balance and centering. So lavender can be also a beautiful one to use. So this is one that I like that I've made up in a little 10 ml roller like this. It is, I call it my refocus blend. So I have it and use it whenever I feel like I'm scattered or feeling overwhelmed, feeling I need a little support in refocusing. And so I use 5 of rosemary, 8 of lemon, and 3 to 4 drops of frankincense. And then I top it up with some fractionated coconut oil. So that's one that I really love to use. And it's just one that I've only been using in the last couple of months, but I really find it works so well to bring me back to focus and center. So we love our essential oils, and they are absolutely perfect tools. So whenever you feel overwhelmed, just by your thoughts, take a deep breath, apply an essential oil, and ask yourself, what thought will raise my frequency right now? Remember, we have the power to choose our thoughts. So, so let's just sit with that for a minute. If you've got an essential oil that you can use, so got just put one in a little drop in your hand. I'm got I've got lavender, which I love, and it's one to use when you want to be centered and balanced. Good for communication. The oil of communication is lavender, so I love to put it on my throat and then take some nice deep breaths. So really, any of your favorite essential oils, you can use any one that you love. And I know with myself, that can change from day to day, week to week, that I have a favorite. And it's like the innate intelligence within us knows what to reach for. We're matching the innate intelligence, which is within the essential oils. And they're wonderful activators, so they help raise our frequency. So you take a nice deep breath and just Feel that calming feeling throughout your body. Feel how your energy shifts. And even if you're at work, you can go into the bathroom and just sit quietly and take a couple of nice breaths when so much is going on and you've got so much to deal with, feeling things are a little bit hectic. And these are amazing tools. We can carry them anywhere with us, right? So they're wonderful to have on hand. So let's just go to finishing up. Oh, sorry. So the good news is that every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every frequency allowed into your field shapes your reality. So this is about starting to be mindful during your day. When you're going about your day, you know, because of course we're focused on what we're doing, we're focused on our work, we're focused on doing different things. And all of a sudden, it's a practice to begin to go, oh my gosh, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? How does my body feel? Am I feeling a little overwhelmed? I know what I can do. I know I have tools to help me just refocus and feel uplifted again. Because each time that you have a thought that's detrimental to you and your energy field, it brings you down. And we know that there are many things that can help us, like good food and all of those things we'll talk about next week when we go through the physical body. But right now we're talking about rather the mental body. Our emotional body will do also as we go along. But right now, it's about the mind and the power that we have within us. So you're in control. You can choose thoughts that uplift you. And we've shared those tools tonight to help raise your frequency and align to happiness and joy. One of the most powerful things is fake it till you make it. The
Mm.
the
Yeah.
body will always follow the mind. So what I've been doing for the last number of weeks has just been really focused on getting excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've been going around saying that. I'm so excited. And honestly, it uplifts my mood. It uplifts my body. Frank thinks I've gone off the rails because I go into the kitchen. I go, I'm so excited. And I do a little dance. I'm so excited, just like this lady. But seriously, that has been my mantra. And when I
Mm.
get overwhelmed with my doTERRA business, I was sharing with Ali, I've been going, I'm so excited because sometimes, especially what I have been doing, you look at, oh, what's wrong, right? What's wrong? Oh, this is this and this is that. And oh my gosh. No, fake it till you make it. Even if you don't feel excited, start to get it up, right? Get it up. And that little song, I'm so excited, seems to be really working for me right now. Even if I do look a bit silly running around the house, right? But you might have a little tune or a little affirmation. Begin to practice it, just start the day with it. And
Mm.
you'll feel this shift. As Judy said, the gratitude has been extremely helpful for her. And I've been practicing more and more, to really look at when you're starting to feel a little bit heavy, a little bit down with all these things that are going on in our world. The world is crazy right now. There's so much pain, so much suffering, so much turmoil. So this is why we can't afford to come down with it. We can feel our compassion and empathy, but we're not going to help anyone if we can't uplift ourselves first, right? That's the most important thing. If you feel uplifted, you can help uplift someone else. But if you're feeling heavy and down with what's going on in the world, well, you're no good to anyone because they're only going to get depressed around your energy field as well. So this is one of the major things. The power is and always has been within you. So remember that the mind is the power, is the master, and the body will follow. And of course, we'll go into what happens when we keep thinking of things that are detrimental to us and how that affects our emotional body, our physical body. So that's another whole little session we'll do as we go along. So for now, we're going to practice homework for everyone. We're going to practice, aren't we? And
Mm-hmm.
next week, when we come together, we'll have a little feedback and share what you found worked, what you found was difficult, and so on. All right.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going
Okay.
to
Good.
stop the share right now and stop recording.